Today's broadcast is brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading funds the mental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Also brought by My Son's Teas, the tea of teas, divinely prepared. Also having musical stylings by BH Bay Music. Also sponsored by moorishhaberdasher.com. All of them is regalia and everyday items. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pro. Design your online business strategy today. And without further ado, we'll get right into how the BBT believe. The scientific study will illuminate the student that Yahweh, our Elohim, God, the creator of the stellar and ecclesiastical universe, has stipulated in all Bible, regardless of the translation, a pattern that he, Yahweh Elohim, gave Moses in Mount Sinai in the year 1490 BBY, erroneously referred to as BC. It is by a profound knowledge of the construction and operation of this divine pattern of the Mosaic tabernacle in relationship to every created object in the universe, whether visible or invisible, that will reveal the answer to every question concerning Yahweh Elohim and Yahshua the Messiah, as he really is, and his eternal purpose and plan. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is not a school, but a church. Is a school and not a church, but a school of research founded with the idea in mind to delve into every branch of science according to the pattern of the tabernacle, man made in the image of God, Allah, which is an acronym for arm, leg, arm, head, to find the answer to every question that has plagued the student from the foundation of the world, thus proving the unerring accuracy and infallibility of the Bible. In research and study, we always use the true Hebrew names of the unity of the spirit of the so-called Godhead. Instead of the title of God as the Father's name, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahweh. Instead of Jesus Christ as the Word or Son's name, we are using Elohim, which is the correct Hebrew title of the Father, Yahweh in super and corporal form. For the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Elohim, manifested in a physical body, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahshua the Messiah. These holy names may seem to be a private interpretation, which we, the Burning Bush Tabernacle, have invented, but through research and study, with a good encyclopedia or dictionary, anyone can discover for themselves this great error. There was no letter J in any language until the Middle Ages. Neither was there ever a letter equivalent to the J in the Hebrew language. Therefore, such names as Jesus or Jehovah are impossible renderings of the true name of the Father and the Son. Here at the BBT, our aims are as follows. 1. To illuminate the student, to find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and exists. 2. To form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua, the Messiah, without distinction of race or nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. 3. To investigate the unexplained spirit law, or so-called law of nature, and the powers latent in man. 4. To encourage and promote the study of the scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, and modern practical and occult science. 5. To remove spookism, superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. 6. To learn, know, and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. 7. To discern and avoid being deceived by the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan and his demons operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. 8. To earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith which was once delivered to the sons or children of Yahweh. 9. To make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained there is no other name given among men whereby man can be saved, saving the name Yahshua the Messiah. And last but not least, 10. To inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah, with the hope of a more glorification in the new earth state. And with that, I say Islam, amen, peace, 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 and introducing our grand sheikh, Kareem Goodman Bay.
Peace, peace, gratitude, Noble Brian. Gratitude and love to everybody that's taking the time out of their day to come learn. Let me put my mic on.
Peace, Brian. Peace, Sheik.
Peace, Noble Dantes. Peace and love. Peace and love to everyone. But before we get started, we definitely want all our guests, if you're on my personal social media page, please subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel at Bernie Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, because that's where we hold our Sunday school classes and our Adapt classes. Because I'm going to stop going live on my personal page on Saturday and Sunday, because I want our teachings to be strictly on our Temple and School YouTube page and our Facebook page at Bernie Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. But with that being said, before we get into this demonstration, I always like to give a little nuggets, because to be correct, because on social media, you're gonna always get trolls. You're gonna get people that's in their personal feelings. You're gonna get people that used to be with our school, and whatever for reason they left because they're not operating their higher selves. And in the Bible, in the scripture, I think it's Matthew's, don't quote me on that, when it said a real man to come back to his brother, to his mapping guy, and get things right, instead of going off and not correcting their lower self. So I just want to share that with everyone. We all be on our lower self at one point in life. But the whole thing about it is get things right. Get things right. So I want to read something before I get started, because you have a lot of Moors. You have a lot of Moors that's out here confusing their brothers and sisters. You have a lot of Moors that's out here. How can I call them? I call them radicals and sovereign citizens out here confusing people, because in Moorish science, we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the rest. We obey and respect all the laws and the prophets. Jesus, which is Yahshua, Buddha, Confucius, and Muhammad. If you are Moor and you an Adapt and you under these auspices, you know that. So we have a lot of men that's butthurt because I hold myself to a high standard, and I hold all my muftis to a high standard. We perfect ourselves first. We don't go out in the highways and the byways and trying to tell men what to do, and you ain't corrected yourself. You ain't corrected your household. So you're going to get a lot of Moors, and I'm from the city of Flint. I put a lot of feds on a lot of people in the city of Flint. But then a lot of men operate in their lower self. So let's deal with some introduction. Is that all right, nobles? Y'all with me?
Absolutely. Islam, Sheik.
Gratitude to my brothers. So the divine warning by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. The prophet warns all Muslims, governors, ordered to read the proclamation at each meeting. And it reads, and I quote eloquently with a silver tongue, I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, which all these Negroes are doing. They are violating the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, especially when they're talking about they some sovereign citizens. That's an oxymoron. You can never be a sovereign and a citizen at the same time. No individual is a sovereign. But when you violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement and the BBT, you will receive your reward from Allah for your unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they must turn in their car, their button, cease wearing your fez, your turban, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. And y'all know and I know, most Moors that deal with me, they never even had the feds or had the, how can I say, the strength to wear the feds until the strength was built up. And the Moors got their feds from me. But I know how we are as men when they operate in their lower self. Men can't love another man that they see in a high status when you in your lower self, because they don't see themselves in that manifestation. So how you gonna love me? I'm not upset. You don't love yourself. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali to redeem all of us, all of misnomer, Negro, black, and colors from our sinful ways. I say Islam, amen, Ashe, and peace, 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 peace. You know, I got an email yesterday, Nobles, because I was on YouTube, and I always like to talk about a little personal stuff before I get started. And on social media, you can't, one thing about us, you can't stop trolls. You're going to have trolls on your social media, but I'm just like a comedian. I don't care about a heckler. I throw that fire right back at you, but I can just block you because I don't want to go off topic. And a brother yesterday, he was like, brother, that guy that was on your page, he was part of your temple. And y'all know, and he said, these men is butthurt because you stern, because you a map and a guide. He was like, brother, I love you. And he was like, it's sad that these brothers don't give you the credit. And I said, well, that's just what Negroes do. I don't care if you have a fez on your head. It can be a dunce hat if you're not in your higher self. Remember, at the BBT, we study all the laws and the prophets where you don't miss the essence of nothing. So today, I'm going to illuminate the Moorish prayer and how the Moorish prayer. I'm going to give you a little insert in your Exhumed of the Nation, which when I ask brothers for donations, I give these documents, I give these booklets for a fraction of the price that they try to charge you on Amazon. When a Moor try to tell you what to study and what not to study, I say, man, you was a Moor way before the prophet. I'm a philosopher, I'm an educator, and I'm a teacher. I'm in the flesh. I'm going to take this way beyond because I'm going to show you how to use your brain. And so in your Exhumed of the Nation, on page 308, it talks about the third eye. When you get a lot of Moors that don't study, you have to have an aptitude to study because they don't have all the manuscripts that go to the Quran, the Silent Brotherhood of the East, the Discovered Key Questionnaires, you know, the Catechism of Understanding the Quran. They don't understand linguistics. They don't understand etymology and etymon. So that means that they're not educated, which I try to bring brothers up. But in your Quran, when people say, well, Noble Drew Ali didn't teach this, you off, because we talk about our third eye. And I just give a little insert, then I'll move on. It talks about your ajana. When we talk about the chakras, and I tell my brothers and sisters, my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. Now I give a little excerpt and then we'll proceed. I'm building you up. The ajana, or the third eye chakra, is located between your brows in the inward center of your forehead. The ajana means command, boundless, perception, infinite wisdom through knowledge of God's self, universal authority. Through the ajana, one is moved beyond the world of dualities into the peacefulness of neutrality of the cosmos beyond the pearl of the blue ether plane. And a lot of people are just operating on material wisdom. When I say 360 is just the sum of material wisdom, but 720 is the sum total of both material and spiritual wisdom. Master your higher self. A lot of these brothers are still in material wisdom, and I call those brothers paper terrorists. Physically, the third eye is associated with the pituitary gland, eyes and brain, because they're in the soul, that's where it resides. Although the ajana radiates from the element light, its colors are purple and indigo. And if any of my muftis y'all want to add as I'm speaking, just say, hey, Sheikh, I got something to say, and it's all good. But there is but one way for a man, for a woman to be produced, and there are 1,000 by which he may be destroyed. And most of these so-called Moors, they be destroyed by the words that are coming out of their mouth, because words are spells. You know, like so there is but one true way for a man and for a woman to see himself or herself, and that is through the truth. All his other observances are subject to change and pass with time. What is commonly called the third eye, what was commonly called the third eye was created with every physical man, as he and she was first formed. Since then, the third eye is as much as part of his procreated human descendants as the heads, the limbs, and the organs. When we talk about arm, leg, arm, head, every member born with a navel into the human family has their own. It is a certainty if one was born with a head and had the holy breath of life blown into their nostrils, which is your spirit, which is your soul, you possess the third eye. Now you maybe not don't know how to activate it, as me and Malik talk about, as we activated our Kundalini today by working out. The mono eye, located above the sense and center behind the two eyebrows, can only be seen inward. And it's necessary, it must be, for perception into the boundless heart of man, heart of woman. Now man's ignorance of this gift part of him or her cause him to become subservient to the outward five senses. And that's how a lot of these Moors operate, on the outward five senses. This is known as the final fall of man. Due to this fall, he or she has stumbled blindly into every evil and earthbound noun and pronoun since the Garden of Eden. What's worse, he has wadded in over 6,000 years of his own naught, illuminated by his kind with both the human eyes wide open. When I say you physically alive, yeah, but you spiritually dead. To understand the essence of the third eye is best simplified with knowledge of its organs and its origin, located, and its purpose. The true third eye is a living thing, and all living things have a divine constitution binding to it all other living things. Yet it is more studious to begin with the eyes, with which we are most familiar. Y'all still with me? Islam. You got to know that the human eyes, gratitude, Noble Dantes, the human eyes do not actually see. Instead, they process light waves from objects that either absorb or reflect. They measure about 1 inch in diameter, but can be trained to capture stars from far away for a powerful telescope to barely find. I'm just touching it. Masters of the Golden Temple in Tibet, and masters like you and I, when speaking of our eyes, we said the eye, the sentinels that watch for thee. Yet how often are they able to distinguish truth from error? That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 27 and verse 8. A lot of these brothers don't even study the Moorish Quran, don't even have it, and I'll give it to you. This verifies the fact that most things change, even as the eyes do today, and as the eyes watch. And today, man plays one-eye games. But when he clothes one of his eyes, two eyes, he's either peeping to covert something, not his own, or winking at some form of wrongdoing. See, these are the truth of everything. That's why I tell men, keep your heart and mind purified with love. That's Acts 7. So I'll give a little bit more and we're going to jump into the teachings. The third eye, as seen by humanity. Signs and symbols are for men of understanding. We use them to chart our course to perfection. Have you ever wondered why a light bulb symbolized the conception of an idea? When I say, aha, a light bulb moment, or why a realization is spoken of as seeing the light? Why wisdom is depicted by the semblance of a glow or a halo? When someone uses his or her wisdom, they have been enlightened. Even those like Moses in the biblical scriptures at the burning bush, which our temple is named after, who have witnesses God's, Allah's, Yahweh's eye, although mostly unnoticed. Yet it is cited by many names: the all-seeing eye, the star of the east, the day star, the psychic, the bindi or the Sanskrit, the eye of the inner vision, the spiritual perfection, the center or the focal point, the apex, the epitome or the pyramid, mind over matter. Those are just a few names. Other symbols of the eye: the power of the one eye has been portrayed as an alien or a cyclops. Cyclops are supposed to be the original Adam with no navel, 20 feet tall, with one eye. and live for thousands of years. But that's just mythology. But the purpose of the third eye is for man, for woman, to see the self, the great God. And in reality, these two, as truth, are one. Yahshua said to Lammas, a Brahmic priest of India's Jagannath, there is a power in the eye. That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 7, verse 17. It also says in the Bible too. This power in the eye is directed by man's thinking while using the breath. And the breath is a force and is recognized as divine love. And without this power of love divine, no one can use the eye to see the truth within. And that's where a lot of these Moors are at, you know, because they operate and they mad. Because I hold all my brothers and I hold myself to a higher standard. I'm not dealing with men in their lower self. I'm not. I don't care. It ain't no amount of money that you can give me or say you got for me to deal with you when you operate in your lower self. And to understand the one eye, it's necessary to understand the seven eyes. The septic of eyes are often referred to in the Hebrew as the Elohim. Our prophet, and I teach all Moors and all true light seekers that Elohim is sometimes called the seven eyes of Allah. Other times the Elohim is called the creative faith or the seven creative spirits. I'm synchronizing the teachings. I'm teaching you linguistics. That's why we don't grab.
Islam, I'm catching all of that. Like you said when you said that enlighten to enlighten, that means your inner light is turned on. You turn on that inner energy from within.
Yes.
So I know you said that earlier, but all those things you were referencing was talking about your inner, basically your spirit from within.
Yes.
You got to exalt externally.
Yes.
And that's when Allah starts talking through you, speaking through you.
Yes.
Right, as a vessel.
Yes.
I said, man, I don't even remember what I said.
Yes.
Allah is talking. I ain't got nothing to do with me.
Malik, remember in Sunday school when I was talking about praying, and I show you, you don't have to know how to pray. You don't have the words. Why? Because the Holy Spirit, that enlightenment is going to give you the words. It's going to intercede for you.
Yeah.
It's going to intercede for you. And when you're a holy man, no negative words are going to come out of your mouth, especially if you're dealing with a God, man, that helped you get to a status. But a lot of our brothers in their lower self. You saw it yesterday when the brother was on YouTube talking about Noble Ali didn't teach this. Fool, we ain't talking about Noble Ali. We in the flesh. We going farther with that.
Yeah.
You just don't study.
All right.
You just don't study.
That's it.
That's the problem with us. Yes, that's the problem with these brothers. They get butthurt and they say, well, Noble brother, we ain't talking about Noble Ali. We talking about science. This is more science. This not Noble Ali science. This more science way before our prophet. I'm synchronizing the teachings. The Sephiroth, the Kabbalah, the Kemetic principles, all that is more science, health and wealth, agriculture.
You can't infiltrate us, like, you know what I mean? You done other things that have been done in the past. You can't infiltrate this.
Come on, Noble
It's
Malik.
a holy and divine movement. It's a holy and divine movement. So get up out of here with that.
Thank you.
No disrespect.
No, and that's why I say we got to address it. No one can infiltrate this because we know what it is coming in. Like me and my dad was talking earlier, I love all men. I bring you in, but I know who you are before you come in. And I treat that accordingly. I know when you're going to come and I know when you're going to leave. Why? Because I see it all in your face. I smell it like an alcoholic. It's in your IDMR. When we talk about physically drunk and spiritually drunk, you have a discernment. So I let people come in, but I know when you're going to come out and there ain't nothing no man can do to me because I'm protected. And this is a divine movement. This is a divine movement. That's why I be telling brothers, they want to be members. No, you don't. Just be a student. 7 is the number upon which all worlds and universes are created. It's the number of completion. 7 is the number of all living things, the totality of man's thinking, and the gnosis of his understanding. The 7 ethereal planes of protoplasm, earth, plant, beast, man, angel, cherubim. It encompassed the 7 days of creation when we talk about religion per se. However, we all concentrate primarily.
Kemetic principle.
Yes, Noble Malik, the 7 Kemetic principles. But Noble Ali didn't teach this. Man, go sit down and have a seat and sit on your hands. Go sit on your hands. That fez is a dust hat on a lot of these people. I told y'all mental health is serious in this arena, Malik. A lot of these people, mental health is messed up. That fez on their head is really a dunce hat when they open up their mouth and a person to say, dude, you don't even know linguistics. You need to go sit down. I see why Sheik and the Nobles ain't dealing with you no more. I see why. Because you caused the confusion. Say what, Malik?
The temple was toxified.
Yes.
The temple was toxified, through bad habits.
Absolutely. 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 You crazy. The 7 seals of human body, because the third eye is one of them. And there are 7 seals within a human body, known by the Christ, the prophets, the Mathimas, the Adepts, and other masters as the 7 chakras. They know as the 7 chakras. But no, but you all didn't teach this. Dude, you don't know linguistics. I know you were bathed in your teaching. Somebody will say, man, go have that dude sit down. We got a master teacher that's teaching, but you up here can cause the confusion because you butt hurt. It's almost like you break up with your girlfriend and she was good to you and all that, and you just started dogging her. And everybody say, no, she broke up with you because you a sucker. Don't be trying to bash her. People know her. She broke up with you because you a sucker. Everybody saw how she was taking care of you, providing for you. Just like Noble Lamarck was saying, a good woman is wisdom, is Sophia, doing all that. As soon as she say, I ain't dealing with your crazy butt no more. Oh, she wasn't this and she wasn't that. Boy, go sit down somewhere. Go sit down. Remember that 7 is the number of divine creation, and the 7 chakras are created within every living man. Even if born without the external legs and arms, you still have your chakra. It's the straight way, And so men with the third eye at the BBT, because y'all got the third eye, and 6 other chakras equally, because one control all the other. Just like if I take your battery out your car, Malik, I don't care if you got a new transmission, a new radiator. I don't care if you got a new fuel pump, oil line, all that. Your car ain't gonna work, is it, Malik?
No, because you took the source.
Come on, brother. Come on. And the third eye and the 6 other chakras equally. And what Yahshua has done, all men shall do. And even greater. What I do, all men can do. And even greater. I'm just a map and a God in the flesh. What you say, Noble?
I said that's the central nervous system which runs everything.
Come on, Noble. Teach, Noble. Teach. And even greater. And in order to enter the third eye, one must begin at the Muladhara, the Muladhara chakra, located in the lower spine. Located in the lower spine. Inside the Muladhara rests the powerful Kundalini. And I tell a lot of people.
And what's in your lower spine?
Tell them, Malik. Come on, Noble. Teach, Noble. I told you, all my ministers are teachers.
They don't call it central for nothing.
Come on, Noble. Teach, Noble.
And it connects with all your chakras. Your central nervous system connects with all your chakras.
So what that tell you?
The last one of them.
So most of these Moors, they Kundalini is in a knot, and they don't want to get out. It's almost like when you learn mathematics, and then when you learn multiplication, and you start dissing mathematics. That's the craziest thing, because you're going to need mathematics. You're always not going to use multiplication. That's a tool in your toolbox in your Moorish Quran, chapter 5, starting at verse 11. You
always use addition and subtraction.
Come on, Noble. Come on, Noble. And through meditation, the Kundalini, the Sakti, the cosmic energy will be awakened and slowly taken back up the different center seals in the spiritual, the conscious, the astral nerve tube. In essence, it is light and sound, yet unlike those seen. That's what I said. That's what I said, Noble. The astral nerve tube.
That's your spine.
Okay, now, Malik, now you know.
All your chakras is aligned.
With Malik, remember when y'all watch Matrix? When people was watching Matrix and y'all saw the brain with the spine connected to it flying through the sky?
Yep. The little caterpillar looking thing.
I tell you what the Matrix.
Alien in the movie Alien. That's how they made the alien.
Come on, Noble.
It looked like your central nervous system.
Your
spinal column.
Come on, Noble. And if I take that out of you, you ain't nothing but a shell. You physically alive, but spiritually dead. Talk to him, Malik. It's the essence, it's the light of sound. Yet unlike those seen or heard. And when the coiled up energy, which is the Kundalini, the Sakti, passes up through the Sushuma and is taken from the chakra to chakra, man will experience different degrees of enlightenment, wisdom, power, and joy. So you got your chakra, which is your crown chakra, the base chakra, the muladhara, the 4-leaf lotus. You got the chakra, the sacral chakra, which is your sexual chakra, the savandishna, the 6-leaf lotus. You got number 3, which is your solar plexus, the chakra. I was showing y'all that on the C. Freeman L chart. The navel chakra, the manipura, the 10-leaf lotus. When I broke down Friday on the C. Freeman L chart. Then you got number 4, the heart chakra, the antha, the 12-leaf lotus. You got the 5th chakra, the throat chakra, the vishdua, the 16-leaf lotus. You got the 6th chakra, which is the 3rd eye chakra, the forehead chakra, the ajna, the 96-leaf lotus. 2 times 48, what you get? 96. I know it. And 7, the chakra, the crown chakra, the sasra, the 1,000-leaf lotus. I mean, it's just what it is. It's just what it is. And the muladhara is the lower end of the spinal column. The swadhisthana is the genital organs. I showed y'all this on the C. Freeman L chart. The 3rd one, the manipura, is at your navel. The 4th one, the anatha, is at your heart. The 5th one, the vishdua, is at your throat chakra. The 6th is the ajna, the 3rd eye between your eyebrows. And the sasara is in the brain. The soul. It's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 32, verse 1. I know these Negroes don't study and read. That's why I laugh at them. They can't affect the God, man. I just block them because they casting a spell on themselves with their words. So it's a way that you activate the 3rd eye. And the 3rd eye, the 6th chakra, is protected against man's negativities on all levels. I'm protected against man's negativities on all levels, Malik, when they come with hate. I ain't worried about that because you can't touch me. You know, no earthbound thought or their possessions can enter our chakra. Like you said, no one can infiltrate the BBT, Noble Malik, because this is divine and we protect it by the 7th chakra. Come on, no weapon formed against us will prosper, Malik. No weapon. I ain't here to be no friends. This ain't no TV show, let's be friends. I'm a divine minister and a teacher. Y'all my brothers. We operate on the same understanding that make us brothers, that make us a brotherhood. So y'all know how to activate the 3rd eye. So I don't want to stay into that. But it's that pituitary gland of the brain. And a lot of these people, pituitary gland haven't calcified yet. And the pituitary has the capacity of emitting an essence, the elixir. The elixir is melanin that allows the divine energy to flow into one's consciousness. This creates the thin path uniting matter to divinity, connecting the God-man to his father. This in essence of man's natural and divine breast milk. So I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna start right there with that demonstration. Yes, sir. Come on, Malik. I'll stop with that introduction right there. When some man will limit you. We study and obey all the laws and prophets. We are studiers. We are philosophers. We don't operate on no one-man science where you miss the essence of the rest.
We gonna get milk from a cow instead of divine milk from your mother's breast.
Come on, Malik. We know most of these brothers don't have the aptitude to study and read. They'll say, oh, I got that. Yeah, you got it, but you don't study it and you don't know how to apply it, which is applied mathematics, supreme hika. We applied this. We ain't just reading it. We ain't trying to overthrow no government. We are part of the government. We Americans. These Negroes just butthurt. So let's get into this teaching when I talk about Moorish prayer. And also in one of my books, when I talk about the divine pattern of the Mosaic tabernacle and the Mosaic and the Moorish salat. When I talk about a lot of stuff is tradition. That's why you got so many different type of Muslims, but I love them all. I love all y'all brothers. A lot of brothers is just at a lower base place. And it's just like they just like a lot of Negro Christians and a lot of European Christians when they think they're going to die and they're going to go to heaven. But the closest place to find God, Allah, is where, Malik?
In the heart.
Okay. So the 5 of the 7 pillars is not even found in the Quran. Either all of this is tradition. It's not law. Law is far and halal. The salat of one Muslim may differ from another in minor details, which can affect the precise actions and words. But see, we're not Orthodox. We Moors. We do it the Moorish American way. I don't have no problem with nobody else. But when you come, when you come with that stuff that you don't know, you're doing tradition. Because the difference occurs because of different interpretations of the Islamic legal sources by different Mahdis, which is the school of law in Sunni Islam. You know, and traditions with Shiaism. Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad practiced, taught, and disseminated the worship, the ritual in the whole community and made it part of their life. But I'm telling y'all, as Moors, we practice peace. So in the basic form of the Salah is not based on the Hadith or the Quran, but on the consciousness of the Muslim. Difference also occurred due to the optional recommended rather than the obligatory articles of the Salah, which means which verse of the Quran to recite. So I'm just making a base for y'all because Muslims believe that the Prophet taught. It does not say actually on record of this. You can't find it on no record, which is why the Salat varies from one other to another. But us as Muslims, we supposed to operate on the same page because there's only one prophet, there's only one temple, it's only one divine creed, there's only one bylaws. Also in the basic form of the Salah, it's not based on the Hadith or the Quran. When I tell people, no, I'm not Orthodox, I'm a Moor. I do things the Moorish way. And the number of regular salats mentioned by their respective names in Arabic in the Quran is as follows, and they can't deny it. I know they just recite stuff. So when I go around my European Islamic people, they say, well, you just a true imam. You a true teacher. You a Adept. You a Sufi. You a Tasawwuf. You a sensei. You know? It's the Salat Fard, which is the dawn prayer. That's Ayat 24 and 5. The Salat al-Wusta, which is the middle prayer in Ayat 238. And the Salat Isha, the night evening prayer, Ayat 24:58. So when you study these ayats, the student will see no specific way to perform these salats. There is no mention of how to make a rakat. And a rakat is just a ritualized ruku. And the word rakat is only speaking of a ruku, not a qiyam, a Qiyyam. I'm being specific. I'm teaching y'all the sajah. So when these al-Islam Muslims come with that stuff, I say, brother, we ain't here to argue with you. We Moors, we do things the Moorish way. Why are you even coming talking that crap for? Now we can hit you with the scimitar and then and use your teachings to make you sit on your hands. These salats are mentioned in the Quran by their names as salat in Arabic, the salat dura, the salat asar, the salat maghrib. And in the Quran, the maghrib does not mean sunset. It means west. That's another fact check. And some students debate the word, the dhuhr, the asar, and the maghrib are used in the Quran, but not as a term defining salat. And the word noon is used, but not as a salat time or a salat al-dura, but rather a time of privacy and rest. All you got to do for all my al-Islam Muslims, read Ayat 24 and 58. Malik is a god. So that's a time when Malik rests. That's his time of privacy. That's his time of meditation because he knew the slave was going to be out doing all those prayers and he knew it was going to take a long time. See, they get mad when I tell you the truth, but the truth will set you free. You see what I'm saying, Malik?
Absolutely.
See, the Salat Dura is a time of rest, and that's it. If they come in with anything else, they a lie and ain't no truth in you. And it's established regular prayer at the sun's decline till the darkness of the night, and the morning prayer and reading for the prayer in the morning, carrying their testimony. So I'll give y'all one more little basic, and then we're going to get into the next topic because we got time. We on great time. That's why I tell people the word duluk, the D-U-L-U-K, means to rub and represents when the sun is rubbing the horizon at sunset. So the Quran only tells the student to perform, which some translate as established, the salat, at what? The descending of the sun. This is late afternoon, after the sun was at its highest, when the sun was at its highest. And it's headed to, come on, yep, Malik, and it's headed to sunset, absolutely. And the darkest of night. This would also be considered the wusta, the W-U-S-T-A, which is the middle. When you are standing, when you are Qum or Qum, Q-U-W-M-U, which is the morning, is used primarily for reading your Quran. That's why the text tell you to be guardians of your prayer and of midmost prayer and standing up and standing up and standing up with devotion to Allah and standing up. Come on, Malik. Come on, Malik, and standing up. I don't have a problem with no al-Islam Muslim doing no 5 till I get prostration. But I'm about to teach you something today. Attend constantly to prayers. Come on, Malik. We connecting God and man as one. We not no slave. We are gods. We made in the image of Christ. Now, if you a slave, I don't got no problem with you a slave. You just a slave. You got a problem with us telling that we made in the image of the Creator and we pray to the Creator standing up? I don't have no problem with you getting on your knees. That's on you. That's on you. That's on you. The middle pray and stand up, truly obedient to Allah. Protect the hifdua, or the salat, the al-salat, and the salat, the al-salat in the middle, which is the al-wusta. And stand toward, before, facing Allah without speaking. And in this context, the salat is done standing. It's done standing.
Yeah, the other one is a humble way, right?
Come on, Malik. Come on, Malik. Come on, Malik. See, they get mad when we teach. We are gods. We are gods. If the student will remember, I mentioned earlier, it's other forms of position of praise, respect to such as the shada, which is prostrating, or the ruku, which is bowing. It talks about all that in the Bible, all the different ways to pray. But here it specifically notes that the al-salat, brothers and sisters, is done standing before Allah in silence. All you got to do is meditate on this and your Moorish Quran in chapter 11 when speaking of the Elohim. Go to it. That's why I be laughing at these Moors. They y'all some Al-Islam Moors or some Freemason Moors. No, I am the shrine. We are God. I'm in the flesh. So these salat should be done, performed while standing, not prostrating or bowing, because the salat, which is worship, is done standing according to the Quran. But most Muslims in the East have added all different positions mentioned in the Quran and make up a rakat. A rakat is nothing but a ritualized performance of different positions, Noble. You see?
That they made up.
Come on, because the al-salat, the al-wusta, Noble Malik, is the only one that has a position mentioned within it. And it tell you to stand, the Q-U-W-M-U. And the only one, salat, is called the al-salat, meaning it's the only one seen as institution, meaning established, while the other two are simply called salats, not al-salat. I'm telling you. And then I'll give you another reference, then we'll go to the next part. In your Moorish Quran, I told you I'm going to synchronize all the chapters. I don't need no books and all that. I studied this long enough because I live it. To really illuminate the subject, it says, let your servant go worship, Malik, while you use that time for yourself, away from them. But if this was about Muslims, don't all Muslims worship together? It tell you that they hide some from the misnomer Negro. Remember, in chapter 1 and chapter 11 of your Moorish Quran, they are quite comparable. They mirror each other and illuminating mutual commentary and understanding for the other. All you got to do is research what I'm saying. Chapter 1 speaks of the three planes, spirit, soul, manifest. And chapter 11, it speaks of the seven planes, the angel, the cherubim, the man, the beast, the plant, the earth, and the protoplast. Chapter 1 speaks of Allah, and chapter 11 speaks of the true in Allah and the seven Elohims. Chapter 1 speaks of of one thought of Allah, his thought of man. And chapter 11 speaks of the seven ether planes of experience, literally teeming with the unique thoughts of Allah that are other than man, that will unfold into perfection of its own kind, and 9 others. But I know Moors don't study. They don't. They just watch YouTube videos. But see, this is a school right here, and all y'all are Adept thinkers. Chapter 1 speaks of the carnal nature that sprang forth from the soul experience of the sensation through the vehicle of flesh. And chapter 11 speaks of man's sluggish well-being, the catalyst of and the rise of the carnal nature, being the result of the fall as their original state. And all creatures on all planes sustain, nourish their bodies via what? That holy breath, Malik. Yet the fall caused the stronger manifest to get nourishment indirectly. How? Via devouring the weaker manifest. So when you draw up a representation or a graph of both the Quranic ayats superimposed on each other, brothers and sisters, we can see clearly the 10 realms, the spheres spoken of in chapter 11, superimposed over the 3 in chapter 1. And the 3 spheres, the true in Allah, which is wisdom, will, and love, on the spirit plane, and 6 on the soul plane, and 1 on the planet manifest. See, these Moors don't study. And you know what that represents, Malik? The diagram will look exactly like the Kabbalistic tree. It will look exactly like the Kabbalistic tree. Y'all got all my books. Look at it, which is the tree of life. And yet we as Moorish American Muslims, we are teaching, and this teaching was gleaned from our prophets' literature. So we're not practicing.
That's called being deeply rooted.
Yes, yes. Remember, in the Arabic language, the numbers are letters. And so it should be to no surprise that the 1 equals alf. The 1 equals, alif, A-L-I-F. The alf is 10 equals yad, or yah, or a mathematical depiction of Allah, which is the one on the highest plane of spirit life, represented by the first of the high trinity, or the unity of spheres that the Hebrews call the Kether, the K-E-T-H-E-R. And his presence within what? Man is represented by what? Is represented by the 10th or the last sphere that the Hebrews call Malkuth, M-A-L-K-U-T-H, called by the Quran of Mecca, Khalifa, referring to the first man. You know? So I just wanted y'all to get a little understanding of that. Because my brothers and sisters are lost due to a lack of knowledge, Malik, because they refuse to learn. They think we are here some Al-Islam Muslims. I respect you, but we Moorish. Everything you see us is in the biblical scriptures. The followers of Yahshua, the high priest wore the turban with the jewel on it. We wore the tunic embroidery with our sash. You know, I respect everyone. So now I'm going to deal with another manual. I don't know if none of y'all, my members, have this, but I'll make copies for y'all can have it. It's a lot of stuff that I have that I haven't gave y'all. I don't know if, and I might have gave it to y'all in the early years, but I'll make sure y'all have it. I'm going to give a little bit of this and we out. And like I said, stop me at any time. The ritual of facing an eastward direction. Oh, before I even deal with that, y'all know who Thomas Jefferson is, right? Y'all know who Thomas Jefferson is, right, Malik?
Absolutely.
Okay, watch this. I forgot, man. I'm looking at it right now. You know, Thomas Jefferson was inaugurated to the president on the Quran, right?
Yes.
All you gotta do is Google it. People are like, what you mean? Thomas Jefferson got a Quran? Here you go.
He has his own Quran.
Here it goes. All of them wanted to be practicing Muslims. Even in George G.M. James' Stolen Legacy, when he tell you that the Greek is a fraud, they all wanted to be practicing Muslims. Even when you read
that PDF too.
Yeah. Even when you read in The Sacred Drift by Peter Lambert Wilson, Alexander the Greek, they know it. They all want to be practicing Muslim. They dress like you. I got another book called George Washington Slaves. I got the book over here, and you see George Washington dressed like the Moor on the horse. The Moor's not dressed like him. Have y'all ever seen that picture? Did I ever show y'all that?
Yeah, but you also haven't noticed that how the Greeks, what you just said, the Greeks dress, right?
Yeah.
I said, so who was there before Greeks? The Moors was there, right? What was the Moors dressing in?
Yep.
They copied their attire.
Yep.
They copied their whole swag, in other words, as people would say in modern times.
You look on this book, when you just Google George Washington and his slaves and the creation of America, you see George Washington, and you see that Moor on the horse with his turban on, with his flower, with his jewel on it, on the horse. He's showing George Washington, he pinpointing the lands, and all European cartographers, they tell you this. I'm an educator. That's why I laugh at brothers. I said, dude, y'all don't even know your heritage. You don't even know your heritage. But yes, Thomas Jefferson was inaugurated on the Quran. Thomas Jefferson Quran. And then they tried to burn a lot of them. That was the war with America and Britain. They tried to burn a lot of the stuff. This is the other Thomas Jefferson Quran. And I don't want to speak on it because I don't want to stay off subject, but I lectured on this a plethora of times. The United States of America was based on the Islamic teachings because the Christianity part, they ain't have no schools. They ain't have no universities. The first university was created in Salamanca in Spain and Timbuktu. They know that. I told y'all, Harvard.
There wasn't no such thing as Christianity anywhere.
Nope. And then all you got to do is Google the Moor that taught all the Harvard students. I shared it with you. And then all the pictures that come up. Even Harvard started talking about it and sharing it. They got a whole monument talking about how the Moor educated all those first Harvard students. I'm telling you what I know. So, the ritual of facing eastward directly during prayer did not begin with Muslims of modern day. This is a human practice that dates back originally to the fall of Isa or Isha, which is Adam and Eve in your Bible. From grace of the garden into being humans. prior to the fall, when they were gods and goddesses. Don't in the Bible it says ye are gods? In the Bible that says you made in the image of God. So there you go. We fell from being gods and goddesses to regular Negro, black, and color, and African American and slaves. But you can't be a Negro, black, and color, African American if you made in the image of God. They naturally met, yes, sir. They naturally met Allah's command through our hearts, through the will of a higher consciousness. What higher consciousness? I just broke it down. The Ajani, it's your third eye. But then here you got these goofy Moors. No, what you all in study? You a clown. The higher consciousness is your third eye. And the fall of man began its descent from the light, which is the truth, and his or her in search of light journey into the Maya of the human knowledge. It's in your imagination. It was man's highest ideas became his God, which is in your Moorish Quran, chapter 10, verse 16. All you got to do is write this stuff down, I'm telling you, so you can fact check all these people that's butthurt. And in the sun, Allah's noblest image became the most wishful source of light and direction of prayer. You see, it was the ancient Kemetans that made a scientific study which discriminated between the worshiping of Ra, the sun, and Hotep, the consciousness or the conscious realization that exists between man and God, and the light, which is the entrance to the maker of both he and the sun. But y'all got to remember, the old tribes of Israel, later misnomer Jews and Hebrews, which revived the outward prayer direction, plummets perpendicular to the sun, to a horizontal landmark erected by man. Therefore, prayer directions plumbed perpendicular to the sun, to a horizontal landmark erected by man. Therefore, they proclaimed their city of Jerusalem as what? A holy, and faced it to sanctify their prayers. And this remained a custom for nearly, Malik, 1,000 years until the advent of the great prophet. And the ritual, which I said, a ritual, not something that's law, of which way man faced in prayer. It surfaced as a misunderstanding in Medina, originally called Yathrib. Medina was originally called Yathrib. Research that word. The city par excellence between the Jews and the Muslim converts of Muhammad. Since the Meccans, the Israelites, and many other nationals in that region customary faced Jerusalem to pray. It was the Jews that assumed, because they had given the new Muslim refuge and equal rights of citizenship, they had to face the Qibla, the Qiblah, which means following tradition. Only it's tradition. But Muhammad, under Allah's command, was to take the Muslims into ancient direction of prayer. But was this new direction of prayer ordained through Muhammad, the way of the prophets, or the face of the Kaaba in Mecca, as opposed to the Qibla of Jerusalem? You got to understand, my brothers and sisters and my muftis, first, it must be remembered that Muhammad was a member of the agnostic order of worshipers called the Hanafa, the Hunafa, or the Hanif, the Hanif. All you got to do is write this stuff down and research it, fact check me, before becoming directed by the angel Gabriel. The angel Gabriel is in the Bible, isn't it, Malik? So why do these Negroes diss the Bible? Because they don't know how to connect it. And they all got the same four mothers and four fathers and angels. A Hanufa, Hunufa, was not a tribesman. It wasn't a tribesman, but a seeker of truth, upright by way of consciousness, and different from the idol worshippers. In fact, brothers, a Hanif meant those who turn away from adultery. Also, when he was able to see the form of the angel Gabriel, from where the voice of Allah came, when Muhammad was on the Hira mountain, it was in the shape of a man. In the Bible, didn't the Bible say, I will come down myself in the form of a man? Didn't it? Okay. That's on the mount. When y'all,
didn't say how many times neither. Come
on. When Jesus went up into the mount, he went with his minister Joshua. But then he came back out, and Joshua, which is Joshua, stayed in the mount, because he had to show you a vision that you can see with your eyes. standing in the sky just above the horizon, and the ancient Egyptians, from which most angels, Michael, Gabriel, derived, always used the word horizon to differentiate between the higher consciousness and human thinking, my brothers and sisters. Our prophet and I even simplified this lofty state to y'all Moors. The nearest place to find Allah is where?
In the heart.
You see? That's too simple. And these angels always look indigenous to Eden and can do no more than carry messages from Allah. These are your Quranic questions 60 to 63 and your Quranic question number 4. And there is an infinite grace in the art of meditation, which I call contemplating. Here again, meditation is realized as the most direct prayer array of all the prophets and angels and Muslims and gurus and masterminds of all times, nobles and climes. This is key. Every prophet raised from among a nation of people always attempted to teach their followers to be like them, especially to pray like them. Although, as in the generalities of men, to be ignorant, rarely did more than one or fewer conquer the Maya. It's in your example of the nation, the Maya and the ego, enough to meet Allah, because they be in their ego, they be in their lower self. And this holds people alternative method of prayer linked somewhere between a tradition. When overdraw didn't do it, man, shut up. Please, please. They were accustomed to and linked to the ancient direct way through fearless consciousness. We operate, Noble Malik, through fearless consciousness without the interceding of a middleman, without the interceding of rituals or forms. They pray best in your holy Quran, in Surah 140 to 153. When I be telling all these Islam Muslims, I know they don't study, they just recite what somebody telling them the same way Christians do. But there are 2 definite degrees of prayer revealed through Muhammad in Yathrib, which is Al-Madiyah. Watch this. Yet because this reading came forth in the midst of a separation between the Jewish prayer tradition and the new constitution of prayer for the faithful, only the congregational level of prayer is practiced by most Muslims today. Watch this, Malik. Although Muhammad uncovered the Jews as hypocrites and instructed his followers to turn their face to Mecca, as do the Jews face the Qibla, few understood the higher degree of prayer, first revealed to the holy Abram prophet, or the Arabian prophet. Muhammad made it clear that any earthly direction was of no significance to the divine. When people tell you to pray, turn to the left. Man, shut up. I don't care if Malik turned to the north, south, east, west. I don't care if Malik get an Indian style and put his hands over his head. Malik is divine, and unto Allah belongs the east and the west. I don't care if Malik turned to the south. I don't care if he turned to the north. He guided whom he will unto a straight path. And this is the same straight path of the prophets, the way of those who thou hast bestowed thy grace, revealed in the universal, the Al-Fatihah. And Allah had appointed to him, Muhammad, as in the utmost center between the east and the west, where between the 2 eyebrows, that's the Ajana, I just broke it down, called a middle nation. In your Al-Quran, read Ayat chapter 2, verse 143. But these Moors are not in the higher level. They in material wisdom. The nation is a people, Muslims, using their uppermost will to meet the will of the great God, and has no Maya or ego, gods, east to west before Allah. Even Elijah Muhammad of the Moorish American Muslims called his organization the Nation of Islam. So that's a middle nation. But few to none has truly heard either of Muhammad's of the past 1,500 years refer to this as the center for the will, because they want to keep you lost. All you got to do is read in the Al-Quran, Ayat 144. It's translated by adepts like myself and all other adepts. It notes that Allah knows Muhammad has been reliant upon the heaven, which is man's highest state of consciousness, for guidance. We operate on heaven for the higher level of consciousness to guide us. And now he would be able to enter where? The heart of what? Himself, where Allah always sits upon the throne of wisdom and force. And the Quran refers to the new place of praying as being very dear to thee. Dear in the sense of vital, necessary, or close, brothers. Our prophet, and I instruct all of the Moorish Americans and true light seekers, there is no place nearer for man to meet Allah, but in your heart. That's question number 4. As the student will soon see, there is absolutely no difference in transliterations between the dearest and the nearest. You want to say something, Noble Malik?
No, I was just agreeing.
Because I'm almost done. And here the Quran reveals this to Muhammad. The messenger of Allah was then instructed to turn your face inward toward the inviolable place of worship. Then told all Muslims, whosoever ye may be, turn your faces when in prayer toward it. This is the first revelation on which direction to face when is performing prayer. It's without a human handicap course of directional east or west, but center in the middle. In the middle, this place all Muslims where the wicked and the human beings cannot go. Only the pure in heart can enter here. See, only the pure in heart can enter here. But you get all these Al-Islam turn the east to the left. We ain't operating on man. See, when they read their Al-Quran and when you read your Moorish Quran, I'm just an Adept. The closer place to find Allah is in the heart. And naturally, because, yes, sir, Malik, because his Meccan followers were accustomed to facing Jerusalem. And the dictates of human nature is what a lot easier to relate to the fact that Muhammad was born in Mecca, centered by the Kaaba temple. And they literally turned on their heels. And in semblance of a standing Jewish custom, they faced their hometown of Mecca. They missed it. Meanwhile, their devotion has not gone unrewarded because 1,400 years later, the Kaaba in the holy city of Mecca is the Islamic center of the world. And although Muslims adjust their sun and moon compass, who pray from the north, south, and east of the Kaaba, but it's still not the nearest, Malik. It still is not the dearest place which one can meet Allah. Because the closest place you can meet Allah is in your heart. See? And Yahshua himself was asked this directional. He was asked this directional question when you research Joshua's life, his works and teachings, where Yahshua asks, why need we go away to find Allah? Question, because Allah's meeting place with man is in the heart. That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 8, verse 7. That's why I know these Negroes don't study. They just butthurt and they mad because they don't study. Oh, the prophet didn't study this. Man, the prophet is dead and gone. He spoke in parables, analogy, and symbology. I'm making it plain. I just showed you in your damn Exuberant of the Nation that the Ajani is your chakra. And that's how you operate your science. And then we showed you how to unknot your Kundalini. But these men operate on what? 360 degree of wisdom, which is the material. They butthurt. Oh yeah, they butthurt, Malik. But this is divine. This is the divine movement where no one can infiltrate this movement, Noble Malik.
Well, if they butthurt, then sit on your hands.
Yep. Tell them to sit on their hands, Malik. And that's what I tell them. Go sit on your hands. And your fez ain't nothing but a dust hat. See, I told y'all, your fez ain't nothing but a dust hat. Go sit in the corner. The fez don't make you wise. These Negroes think they can follow a whole bunch of people on YouTube and quote a whole bunch of sovereign citizen stuff that's going to get them locked up and hate on the God, man, that taught them everything. Boy, your fez ain't nothing but a dust hat. Go sit in the corner and put your thumb in your mouth. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner eating his curves and whey, looking. You crazy, Malik. We almost done. I got a little bit more, man, and we out of here, man. Praise Allah for knowing all things. I know all things. I know these men demeanor when they come, Malik. In our IDMR text, we talk about physically alive but spiritually dead. When they talk about they walking alcoholics. It ain't nothing you can do to me. I'll give you everything and push you on your way. I know who you are when you coming. I know you only here for a minute. So I love my brothers and I'll raise you up. But then when you know you and your lower self, you got to come back to man and make it right. And man can't do that because they're in a lower self. And when man honor man's, what do we honor, Malik?
Allah.
See, they can't honor man because they don't see it in themselves, including man's weakness that derives from the false readings of this sense. Muslims symbolically see the inviolable place as the Kaaba. Most of this narrows the sightedness has been held on by Arabians since Mecca was the old commercial center of the East. But there have been hundreds of Muslims massacred by other Muslims at the Kaaba. Watch this. Every Holy Friday after Juma services, a mufti decapitates a human head, or few at the cheers of Allah Akbar. All you got to do is research it. And for those Moorish Muslims here in the West, you need to know with all your sincerity and search for the light. You see, yeah, Malik.
All the boys when they take prisoners.
Yes.
Don't they do that?
That's why I be laughing at those misnomer black people. They be dyeing their beard red. And I said, dude, I said the slave trade is still going on. They enslaving your black butt. And then these Negroes, they paint their beard red. I say, man, y'all have no understanding. Y'all have no understanding. Y'all, no disrespect. Y'all following a pale Arab. No disrespect to no one. My prophet and my angel look like me. There's no mystery. Mecca is still the African slave capital of the world. And the advent of the seal of the prophets to bring Islam, the most holy Muhammad, has never changed Arabians' love for slaves. See, remember, research Habibi and Habibi. And when they say, oh, Habibi, one is endearment of love, but the other calling you a black slave. I be trying to tell these sisters, but they have no idea. They be looking at y'all as black slaves, and they be thinking these pale Arab is the original man. And the original is not an Arab, it's an A-R-A-P. Yes, Malik, you are the original Arab. That's in Vladimir Dale's dictionary of an Arab. I tell him that Bertram Thomas is a book called The Arab. He tell you that you the original Arab. These people is modern, but we begin confused with these, no disrespect, these pale Arabs that's modern to try to tell you something. And when they come around me, a Sufi, a Sheikh, I'm gonna break them down to a small to a milliliter, and then they're gonna walk away with their hands under their butts. This is just a fact. This is no disrespect. They know the average Negro haven't studied. Not to mention the Karamatans were able to confiscate the black stone from the Kaaba, right from the holy center. Obviously, with the much murder, theft, slavery going on there, because they still enslaving the Negro of the Arabic slave trade. They enslaving all misnomer black people in the name of Allah in Africa. Who? The pale Arab. If you don't believe me, I'll start pulling out documents. But if we Muslims don't enslave no Muslims for the color of their skin, those pale Arabs think the black skin is a curse, and they slaving them right now. That's why I be laughing at these brothers and sisters that be, this Islam dude, my brother. This pale Arab is my brother. No disrespect. He should be your brother if you can teach him and raise him up. But they look at you as a black slave. No disrespect. That's the African slave trade, which play hardly. So I just want y'all to know this, man. I want y'all to know this science, because the nearest place to meet Allah, the great God, is within your heart. I don't want to go too far on it because I got so much more to teach, but I don't want to stay too far in it. But our prophet and our teachers, men and birds and beasts, are creeping things, our deities, made flesh. And because all forms of life on every plane are thoughts of Allah, all creatures think. Yes, and every creature is possessed of will, and in this measure has the power to choose. All living things, when in their natural state, give reverence and praise to the great God, their creator. This is also true for man, although he is the only deity possessed with consciousness. It's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 36, verse 4. Only when humanity is in a fallen state of consciousness does it worship other gods before their own creator. Read in your Bible, Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. The existence to every nation of the human family is they are divine products of Allah. And in the laws he has ordained and rule of life. So kindly has Allah united man's duty to man's nature, that obedience to his precepts is pure happiness of man's self, which is in your Moorish Quran, chapter 35, verse 21. But man must pray and meditate to begin to be in harmony with his true or her true self. and only in his or her own nature will man know freedom. I'm telling y'all, El Haj Sharif Abdul, myself, Sheikh Khari Goodman Bey, El Haj Sharif Abdul is Noble Drew Ali. We stated on numerous occasions, he is Allah's prophet. I am Allah's prophet. Because in our one-on-ones, what is a prophet and an angel, Malik?
Close to the flesh.
Deen. And in Arabic, this would translate into Ashada, Ana, Sharif, Abdul, Ali, Rashullah. This declaration of Noble Drew Ali and myself being Allah's prophet has and will enrage the average unaccomplished Islamic scholar. I don't even call him an Islamic scholar. I'll call him an Islamic follower because all they do is recite. Be that as it may, no Muslim outside of the Arab mind would attempt to place limitations to the grace of Allah and the most gracious of measure, the mercy of Allah, the most merciful, who is to dare say that we, a nation of Allah, are not worthy of good stuff. See, has there ever been any nation that has paid a greater price of admission into the kingdom of Allah? No. And when all truth, Noble Malik, when all truth are revealed, the record of the human family will reflect. It is Allah alone that breathed forth the clean and pure nation of the Moorish Americans and ordained Noble Drew Ali and ordained me, the prophet, to redeem our people from our sinful ways. That's in Acts 6. And only the Father of the universe. It's in our Moorish prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So only of the universe, the Father of the universe, brings forth nations and raises prophets among them to serve as guides to the narrow way of Allah. That's in the Al-Quran, Malik, Surah chapter 10, verse 47. That's why those Al-Islam Muslims, they can't say nothing to me. Because all they do is recite. Man, I'm the walking Quran. I don't need the Quran. I'll recite every one of their books and then I'll break it down to them. They can say nothing. But Islam, Sheikh, Islam, Sufi, yeah, I know.
Book of Eli.
That's right, Malik, I know. And if not the truth of Allah, then what? If not his angel, which is the prophet, and myself, then who? Perhaps the pale-skinned nation of Europe, no disrespect. The Muslims of the misnomer Arab countries. What about the misnomer Negro, black, and colored people themselves? What or who could and would save the Moorish Americans? A prophet and an angel come from amongst your own people. Can no pale person with no blue eyes save you? How? That means they're not a prophet and an angel. They come in a different voice. So then you have to have a linguistic to teach you the language and to come out of their mouth. A prophet and an angel come from amongst your people. This is science. This is science.
People you will be a stranger in your own lane.
Yes, Malik.
People a stranger in their own lane.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes. The Moorish Americans, you and I, the misnomer black African American, they should not think with Arabia. Read your Moorish Quran, chapter 38 and 6. But think as Muslims are created to think with the eye of consciousness wide open, brothers and sisters. Y'all got to know this. Y'all got to know this. The Moorish Americans and our prophet is founded throughout the constitution of the glorious Quran revealed to Muhammad. In fact, the holy book is so perfect and unchanged until if this omnipresent or this omnipotent, it could be removed. Its message to man.
I'm trying to tell everybody, man in the mirror, and it's just another part of me.
See, Malik? See, Malik? See? You got to be without interpretation of meaning. So I'll give y'all this last little piece, and then we'll stop and we'll have dialogue and we'll be out of here. Anyway, brothers and sisters, we got to get back to prayer. It's a part of wisdom to know thyself and the great creator of the self, which is Allah. Also to know while all praises are due to Allah. Allah has no need for praise, nor does the great God of all things have use of requisitions or want. Indeed, man and man alone stands in the need of conscious prayer. Man is now entering into the Aquarian age. What? Understanding knowledge, where he can comprehend the works of purity and love. It's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 2, verse 25. If you don't have the Moorish Quran, all you got to do is hit me up. A $5 donation, and I'll send it to your email. His degree of understanding has evolved and opened enough to see Allah as one with himself. He needs no middleman, no priest, no intercede. And you need the silent brotherhood of the East, Noble Malik, to go with your Quran. Am I right about it?
Yeah, and a study guide.
And a study guide, and a catechism to understanding the Moorish Quran, and the SO workbook. You need all those schoolmasters, which I call the teacher's manual, to go with your Quran, for you can laugh at the rest of these Negroes that's butthurt as sheep. He needs only, and the unto thee I grant. Absolutely. He needs only be guided through what? Grace, by one of Allah's vigrants or prophets. I'm a vigrant, you a prophet, you a mufti in the flesh, a teacher. Then he can go straight to Allah and place his mind, his hand in Allah's own divine mind, and all is well. That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 10, verse 22 to 24. Our prophet, myself in the flesh, give all the Moors holy instructions. I return to them the old time Islamism, a higher degree of al-Islam, which is founded upon the first law of divinity. What? To know and to have knowledge of self. So I stop right there, man, because I got so much more. You know? But remember that Allah I speak about is everywhere. He cannot be compassed with walls, nor hedged about with bounds of any kind. That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 10, verse 12. So an example is there are 1.5 million Muslims praying towards a rock in the east 5 times a day. It does not negate to the reality. Only the lost needs direction. And the directions of north, east, south, and west were devised by man when he lost his way in God. That's Surah 2, Ayah 177. It's clearly forbid using earthly direction when facing Allah in prayer. It is not righteousness it is not righteousness that ye turn your face towards the east or the west, because the closest place to find Allah is in the heart. And I wrote the manuals for everybody. And until brothers get the manuals, I show y'all. Al-Salat is done standing up. Like I said, Malik, we don't have a problem with no Muslim doing no 5 salats. That means you a slave.
And it said, what'd you say? It said to stand silently, right?
Yep, and stand silently.
Inward.
Yep, it's in your. Yep, it's in here. It's in the manual I put together, the divine pattern of Mosaic Tabernacle and the Moorish Salat. When they're just live to you, there's only one thing in the Quran. It's called the Al Salat, and that's done standing up. Everything else is tradition, point blank. And that was time for you to relax. And that was time for the slave to go out and pray to God. No disrespect to no one. Because the Al-Salat is not done prostrating or bowing, because the Salat worship is done standing according to the Quran. And I gave y'all the scriptures according to that. So I like to say Islam, amen, peace, 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 peace. Noble Malik or any of y'all muftis, y'all got anything to add or some words or anything as we close?
I appreciate your gratitude.
I appreciate you too, Noble. Like I be saying, a lot of our brothers, they don't study and they don't read. They just watch YouTube videos and then regurgitate trash. I'm a studier. I'm a philosopher. I operate on the high spirit. I operate on my Kemetic principles. My ajna is activated. My kundalini is activated. My third eye is activated, which is in your Exhumer of the Nation when it talks about the ajna. When it's in our Moorish books, the prayer, and the Moorish Muslims, the Prophet Muhammad taught the highest degree of prayer. I think I'll send it to Noble Lamarck, Nobles. Or no, I'll go to Office Max, because Lamarck got the print press, and I'll print these out for y'all can have them. And I'll let y'all know what it costs if y'all want them, Noble. You gotta have these. It's only a few pages. It don't cost a lot. So I'll go up there because there's way more in here that I want y'all to study. Like when I talk about the chakras, I'll give you this, prayer or meditation, the word. Remember the Vedas. Remember, because your Moorish Quran talked about the Vedas. So the Vedas call it the Shruti, the Sruti, that which is heard. The Upanishad, the Upanishads or Shadas, the Upanishads. They called it the Nad or the Yugit, which is the sum of the or the other world. It's spelled UPANISHADS. And I'll send y'all those books. If y'all don't have them, I'll send them to you. If y'all don't have the Vedas and the Oak Shaddads, I'll send those to y'all. Because our Moorish Quran talk about those books. It's right in our Moorish Quran. It talks about it all. The Muslim called it Bangi Ashmani or Kalma. The Gurbani called it the Shabd, the Shabd. The Moorish Muslim call it Holy Isa. The Zoroastrianism, which prophets study, somebody said, oh, Noble Drew Ali didn't study Zoroastrianism. And I say, once again, you a dunce, go sit on your hands. I'm just being honest, Malik, because these Negroes is lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. When you look up Zoroastrianism and what the science is, it's more science. They called it Zarosha, Sarosha. And the Hebrews called the word was and is Yahweh or Jehovah. So I'll stop right there. And so I'll let y'all know how much this costs to get printed out if y'all don't have it already. If any of y'all brothers, if I sent this to y'all some years ago, share it with all the muftis. But if y'all don't have it, I'll print it and bind it because I have to ship it to y'all. And I'll give it to y'all for a small price because I want y'all to have this for a small donation.
Which book is that? Which book is it?
It's the prayer and the Moorish Muslims. The Prophet Muhammad taught the highest degree of prayer. I don't know if y'all have this or not. I got so many manuscripts. Malik, I got so many manuscripts I'm getting ready to start breaking out that I know y'all don't have, that I'm going to start sharing with y'all. I got so much. That's why when I deal with my old elders, they like, shit, none of these Moors be talking. They all should be listening to you. Just like I had an old Moor talk about our prophet said to go to the city hall and get a marriage license. You a lie. I'll put out all the documents. Our prophet said, if you don't want to listen to me, goofy Negro with a fez on, then take your black bleeply bleep to the city hall and buy your wife. Just like your mom and your dad say, your mom and dad will tell you, if you don't want to abide by my rules and come home and keep your room clean, then get the hell out. They ain't kicking you out. They ain't kicking you out. They said, if you don't want to abide by to what I'm teaching you that's righteous, then go on and do your own thing. Smart guy.
That's right.
So anybody got anything they want to share? Thank y'all for your donations to class today. If anybody have it on their heart to give to our temple and school, the Cash App $KG Bay, I give y'all gratitude. But I have so much wisdom. I have so much information, and I will build your library for donations. I have over 1 million books and documents in my physical library and my online library that you can have, that you can download on your tablet, or you can get it printed and bind it. Office Max or Staples will print it and bind it. Or my mufti, Noble Lamarck Barclay Bay, will bind it and print it for y'all. So, do anybody got anything? Y'all want to, anything? We good?
Just gratitude for that class today. A lot to meditate on. Gratitude and honors to you.
Man, gratitude and honor for y'all, man, for trusting me as your brother, man. And the Sheikh is only a leader of a small group of brothers. Just like the Rosicrucian manual Noble Alonzo sent. Oh, and did I send y'all all those Rosicrucian books? Did I send that to y'all? Did all y'all get those?
Rosicrucian, the codes.
I did, yeah.
So if y'all didn't, Dante, I'll send it to y'all, and I want y'all to look at it. Because remember, I don't care about having members. I have students. It takes a certain type of brother that's going to deal with me, that's going to come and sit at the table with us. We don't need people that want to come to us just because they want to learn something and then run away. This is a brotherhood for life. But can you be a student? Yes. I got an email from the other day where a brother, no disrespect, saying, I want to get my Adapt teaching from you. I want to be a Sufi from you. No, you don't. Because we brotherhood for life. You know, we brotherhoods for life. We learn. All my ministers are muftis. We don't try to take this and separate. Because if I'm gone, y'all replace me. Y'all the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. Y'all all ministers. You don't have to create nothing else. You got your own subordinate temple in your state. BBT District this, BBT District 3, BBT District 4. You are a minister and have your own district in your own city. You don't have to create nothing new. You see what I'm saying? You a divine minister in your city. You can have classes. You can have me log on with y'all, you know what I mean, and all that. But you got your own subordinate temple in your city. It's for y'all to bring people to the storehouse in your city. That's why I have all these different platforms where y'all can teach a book club. When you want to teach Adapt class, you can teach. When you want to minister Sunday school, you can minister Sunday school. But most of y'all members, y'all want me to do Sunday school, which I understand that because I do divine teachings on Sunday, where I teach God and man is one, and I teach about the Holy Spirit. But y'all know Saturdays is always open for y'all to give adapt lessons. Noble Brian, I think Brian was the last one to give the last adapt lesson about what is moorish science. And it was amazing. And he put that whole manual together. Noble Brian, we got to put that as a manual and everybody need it. You got to create that as a book, Noble Brian. You hear me?
Yes, Mom.
You got the email. All you got to do is go to Office Max and Staples and have them put it in a book form and put your cover over it. Put your cover on it and it'll be like this. And then you have a manual. Because I told y'all, we create and we write literature. We write the manual. So Noble Brian, that whole adapt class you did, and I think we all got that email. And can you resend it to me? I don't know if I still got it. I think I saved it to my files. But would you send that back to me, how you taught what moorish science was? Remember, Noble Brian?
Indeed, most definitely.
That's a whole manual. And you eloquently put that together. That was a manual. And man, man, tears was coming out of my eyes. No disrespect, not from tears of sadness, because the wisdom is there as we continue to elevate ourselves up. When I said y'all can do greater than me, I'm just a map and a guide showing you what we can do, showing you what you can do as we build our confidence up. Because a lot of us weren't wearing turbans and fez. Look how far we came, Noble Malik. Look how far y'all came wearing your fez and your turban with confidence and able to speak on it eloquently with a silver tongue from no biasness and be able to tell a person what it is and what it's not. So I give y'all gratitude, man. I give y'all gratitude, you know, and I give y'all gratitude for trusting me going on our, 6 year, Malik? Come on. Come on, we've been courting each other for 6 years. Negroes have unprotected sex with a woman in a day and talk about they love them. You see what I'm saying? So I know this is love. I know this is a brotherhood, and I love y'all, man. And whatever I have, you have it. And once these cups start running over, I split my stuff with y'all. That's why I said it's only greater for us. It's only greater. And when man honor man, he or she honors Allah. So we need women in our cipher. We need more men in our cipher. If you're on our pages, all y'all gotta do is hit me up. I always give my email, which is GOODMAN Khary, KHARY @gmail.com. For nobles can hit me up. So if you give a donation, I can give you literature and I can have you as my private guest right here with us on StreamYard. I also share my office number, which is 602-473-8767. And we getting ready to have our, this going to be our 5th Moorish Ball, Malik?
Yeah.
We getting ready to have our, yeah. So we did what? We did, how many we do in Vegas? We did
2,000. We did 2021. So this will be our 5th one coming up.
We getting ready to have our 5th Moorish Ball, and we coming back here in Arizona, and I want everybody to come because we celebrate and have a good time, and we love on each other, and we do things together. You know?
Yeah.
So gratitude to y'all, man, for taking time out y'all day. Can we get our Moorish American prayer? Followed by our, if y'all don't have the benediction handy, I'll do the benediction. And then Noble Brian, you can close us out with that dope outro, because that outro is amazing. I love it. And even the intro is amazing. When Noble Lamarck was doing the book reading yesterday, as soon as he came in, he like, whoa, y'all hear that intro? That's why I told y'all, man. That's why I told y'all, nobles, if y'all haven't, I gotta say this before we proceed. Please, my Noble Brian Hicks Bay, which is our poetry, which is our artist that give y'all that good music, and he put his pain and his love in his music. His album, his latest album, is Transportation of Raw Materials. It's streaming on all platforms. You can pull it up on Google. You can pull it up on iTunes. You can pull it up on Amazon. Google it and check him out and give a small donation for it and listen to that album. The album is fire, and he keep putting out more fire, man. And the album is called Transportation of Raw Materials. Once again, my Noble album, his debut LP, is called Transportation of Raw Materials. Check it out, y'all. Let's do our Moorish American prayer, and I'll give us our benediction, and then we out of here.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day. This holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen Ashay, Shalom Alakim, Arashai, Inshallah Ashay. Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace. And our talisman benediction, it reads, may the benison of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou should strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste, to bestow thine acts of love upon all your brothers and sisters, and we should do our best to shun all evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that we all might nourish the souls of all men, women, and children. Let the truth be thy shield in the manifest battles of falsehood. We all should know that we don't have to pick the lock to the gate of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within our own hands. And yes, my brothers and sisters, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconstancy, there is still the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah, may Buddha, may Yahweh, may Confucius, may Muhammad, because we respect and obey all the laws and the prophet. May it guide you, may it preserve you, may it lengthen your age, and may it give you everlasting peace. El Rahman, El Rahim, Yahak, Yamuhameen. Ashe, peace, peace, peace. Amen. And I love you all, my brothers and sisters. Peace, peace. Brian, it's on you.
Once again, this broadcast is brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z. Also brought to you by My Son's Tees, the T of T, Divinely Prepared. Musical stylings by PHB Music. Also brought to you by Moorish Haberdasher, moorishhaberdasher.com for all of your religious regalia and everyday items. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today.
.com. That's books with a Z.
Turn up.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge sneaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man with a meaning. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing, took but I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I've been trying to live my dream. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between, baby. You can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not around the beat.
Islam. Fire. Gratitude, nobles. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love. See y'all tomorrow.
You too.
Enjoy the evening.
Islam.